How to become a chartered accountant. Let's talk about this. Hello, everyone. If you are new here, my name is Getty, a qualified chartered accountant. Welcome, and please don't forget to subscribe. In today's episode, we will be addressing a very popular question: how to become a chartered accountant. Without any further ado, let's get the show on the road. The good news is there are various pathways to become a chartered accountant. You are not limited to just one. There are various pathways. That's the good news. However, in today's episode, I will be focusing on the very most traditional method to become a chartered accountant, which entails 7 years in total. Before we delve into the details, I want to mention this. If you are in high school, you do not need accounting in order to become a chartered accountant. I know this is quite debatable, but accounting is not critical in order for you to become a chartered accountant. You need good grades in pure mathematics and English, and overall, you need to obtain a national senior certificate. Accounting is not compulsory. Now let's talk about that. If you are someone who's still in high school, my best recommendation is, if you are clear on the path that you want to follow, I would recommend taking a full commerce stream, which entails accounting, business studies, as well as economics, including pure mathematics. They will just make your journey easier when you get to university. A lot of these subjects will still be introduced in your first year, but if you already have the solid foundation, it will become easier for you. So, what happens if you are someone who is watching this, you are in high school and you took a different stream? Perhaps you are already in grade 11 or grade 12 and you are not doing accounting. The good news still is you do not need accounting. You will still do just fine. So even though you are or you did not do accounting in high school, you can still become a chartered accountant as long as you scored great in mathematics, English, and overall you have a national senior certificate. I wanted to first mention that for those who are still in university and contemplating which subjects they need to take. I hope now it's clear. Now let's get to university level. So there are various options depending on the university. You then need to enroll for a BCom accounting, or some institutions would call it BCom accounting science. Traditionally, it would take 3 years for you to complete that degree. Once you are done with the degree, you then need to advance your studies by completing an honors degree in accounting or accounting science. It's usually just for a year. So the total years in university are only 4 years in university. What I need to highlight is you need to make sure that the institution is SAICA accredited. That's if you are watching from South Africa. So a lot of people ask, Getty, which university is the best? The truth is, a lot of these universities are quite good. What is critical is ensuring that the institution is SAICA accredited, so you don't waste your time in an institution that is not recognized by SAICA. It's easy to find out. You can research, you can Google. It's as easy as that. So once you are done with your honors degree, now you then need to complete board exams. Apologies for that. There was a technical glitch. As I was saying, you are now left with 2 board exams. The first one is called IAC, Initial Assessment of Competence, previously known as ITC, Initial Test of Competence. That is usually completed prior to your training contract. Again, it depends on your training contract. With my contract, it started in February, which gave me sufficient time to prepare for the IAC. By the time I started with my contract, the first board exam was already out of the way. While with others, their contracts commenced in January. So if you are in that position, again, worry not, you will be given study leave to prepare for the first board exam. So with the traditional route, the training contract is usually for 3 years. This is where you will be getting your competences. You will be working closely with what we call career coaches. You need to be very dedicated in ensuring that you obtain necessary competences. Again, you do not have to worry much about that. You will be guided all step of the way. You will not be alone. In your second year of articles, you will be completing your second board exam, which is called APC, which is my favorite, I can say. It's quite challenging, but it's very different from CTA, that is honors, as well as the first board exam. It's quite different, very interesting. So once you are done with your 2 board exams, all that is needed is for you to complete your 3-year contract. What is necessary, and I need to highlight this, you need to make sure that you gain all the required competences. Again, as I said, you do not need to fret much about that now. You will be guided. Again, when it comes to a training contract, you have a choice depending on your career aspirations. You can either choose to serve articles in audit or outside of audit. We'll get into that in a different video, not today. So that's all. Once you are done with your training contract, guess what? Great news. Provided you have passed both your board exams, you are now in a position to register to become a chartered accountant. Once you have registered, all you have to do is to wait for that precious moment to receive your certificate, your membership certificate, and the 4 letters you've dreamed of, CASA. That's if you are watching from South Africa. And that's all for today. Let me know if there's anything else you would like us to cover. In the upcoming videos, we will talk about other routes to become a chartered accountant and also different training contracts. That's all for today. Don't forget to like, comment, and share the video with your friends and subscribe.